Hello, Eternity community. I am back. As always, I am not an Eternity employee. So we have recently completed the Starfleet 3, round 3 of AE Ventures, which is a fund venture capital firm spinoff from Eternity, investing in projects building on Eternity. And so today we have 4 winners out of 10 pitches, and the AE Ventures has a live stream of all the pitches and the questions and everything, and that's linked below, as well as some forum topics, of course. So I've spliced out the 4 winning pitches. I'll play them for you. I'll play one, and then I'll give a quick, give my opinion on it. So that's what I've done here. They didn't timestamp the video, the live stream, so this, I'll save you some time. You can just view the pitches here. So the first one's going to be Satified, which is a business-to-business lending borrowing platform. Then we have CAMI, which is a cannabis, kind of like a crowdsource and crowd ownership of cannabis startups. Then we have King Football, which is a soccer club merchant merchandise verification of authenticity product, and Smart Credit. So that's more of a retail borrow to lend. All right. Let's just get into the first one. It's Satified. Here we go.
Okay, am I heard on the stream? All good? Okay, hello everyone. My name is Martin and I'm CEO of Sagefire. Satified is a B2B solution enabling businesses to start providing digital asset-backed loans at reduced cost and risk. First, let's see how does a standard loan work. We have a borrower and a lender. The borrower deposits their digital assets in a lender's wallet, and as soon as this happens, the lender is providing the liquidity. And as soon as the debt is repaid, the lender is returning all the collateral to the borrower. Okay, you can definitely create that system as a lender, but it's going to be really expensive. And also the return of investment is going to be between 250 and 824 days. Moreover, you will bear all the risk. Sagefire is a turnkey B2B solution that provides all the lending platform for you. It is branded with your colors, it is working the way that you want it. And also we are covering more than 90% of the risk, and we are much more affordable than if you're implementing it yourself. So with Satified, we stand as a third party that is taking care that everyone is doing their obligations right. And in case if there is a dispute between the parties, a bailee is assigned to make a decision. And as soon as that decision has been made, Satified is going to follow and to execute that decision. We don't need trust. We use the blockchain because blockchain is mathematics, and mathematics don't need trust. So with Satified, it is really easy and affordable to start. You can go with the initial price for integration of $500 and the return of investment period is between 38 and 68 days. Our concept has already been validated as we have 2 paying clients even before we have started implementing the core and the initial version of our project. And these clients are in Bulgaria and Switzerland, as Microcredit is one of the biggest lending institutions in Bulgaria, and Vic Swiss is a bank in Switzerland. Our revenue streams are mainly the subscription fee, but also we have legal, integration, and liquidation fee. And our team is experienced in blockchain, fintech, also in startups. And by that, we have all the capabilities of creating a successful product. As target markets, we start with Europe and more specifically Switzerland, Bulgaria, and Estonia. But we are also going to enable all the Liechtenstein government digital assets, which needs to be digitalized by 2022. Moreover, in Germany, a huge market with more than 6,000 lending institutions has just made a law to enable banks to do all crypto transactions and also to store crypto assets. So let's wrap up. We are a Satified. We are a turnkey B2B solution that enables businesses to start providing crypto-backed and also digital asset-backed loans. Our concept has already been validated as we have clients, and our team has all the potential to create a seamlessly working a seamlessly working product, which is going to be able to have a good revenue and to be successful on the market. Thank you very much.
I thought Satified was pretty good. They already have some clients. They're doing the business to business lending. Seems like a good place to be in the. Seems like that starting in Europe, and as assets and things are more digitalized than crypto assets and everything, I think this makes sense to have on Eternity. You can do this with smart contracts, and they didn't get too into the detail of what Eternity tech they're using, but that's okay. Seem like they have a pretty, once they get the product nailed down, they can just sell it to different businesses and they can sort of make it look how they want to look, if I am understanding this correctly. So they have a subscription fee and they make some liquidation fees, and sounds like they said, like, the profit range used to be like 300 days and now it's like 40-ish days. So that seems like a big improvement, and if they can
Next up
bring
is
that
our
efficiency to the
German-Irish
market, I think
duo.
that is
If
absolutely
the Euro
wonderful.
guys are ready,
So bravo to them.
almost.
And next up,
So it's a very
CAMI.
unique and very interesting combination, not only on the product side, but also on the team side. Please welcome CAMI.
Hi, everybody. My name's Owen, and this is Dan. We're here from CAMI. We have to go back about 100 years just to kind of put how well timed this is, just so we get a frame around it. In should work. Yeah. January 17, 1920, overnight hundreds of millions of people can't drink alcohol anymore. Pushes the industry into the black market and completely ruins the industry. Roll on 1933 and Prohibition finishes. All of a sudden the industry comes back to life and it's a big, massive, huge industry. In 1948 they made cannabis illegal. Now this completely destroyed the industry, and what we're seeing now at the moment is the end of Prohibition, and it's coming back into the start of a new, huge industry. But governments have a habit of over-regulating new products, and especially products that have come from a prohibited product like cannabis. Europe will be the biggest market for cannabis within the next 5 years. Sorry, excuse me. We're looking at 6 countries have legislated within the last 2 years towards medical cannabis, and we've plotted this graph here from the US cannabis market. Here we see that within 4 years, states have legalized towards medical and recreational cannabis, and we can see the size of this here on the graph shown. And this is only for 8 recreational states. Investors and this sort of outdated regulation causes a lot of interference for entrepreneurs and investors. We in CAMI, we know how to get through these regulations and these pain points, as we've been down this road before ourselves. Why now? Cannabis and DLT experience the same very steep gradient. They're budding industries together, and they are natural symbiotic companies. Sorry. Our mission. Sorry, cannabis has a mission. We want to aid new and emerging cannabis companies source funding, tokenize their company, and incubate, comply with regulations, and manage compliance issues. We want to support retail and accredited investors to find viable and funding cannabis startups. I'm going to pass over to Dan to take over.
Thank you. Yeah, we're a bit nervous. This is our first public pitch. We've been bootstrapped for over a year, and we're just now getting out into the open, so bear with us. To put the huge market into perspective, we plotted it against the craft beer market in Europe, which currently in 2018, the cannabis market is dwarfed at 206 million by the craft beer market, valued at about almost 18 billion. However, the graph shows that as regulation fall in place, the price is picking up, the market value is picking up. And we at CAMI waited for the market to be mature enough to enter with a fair and sustainable business model by retaining a 4% success fee, equally split into equity and funds. This will allow seed investors of CAMI to obtain the golden opportunity, the CAMI ticket, which could grow to 10 by 100 times by the end of 2028, after the cannabis market has surpassed the craft beer market in Europe into 2026. How we're doing this, you might ask? Well, with a solution delivered by the CAMI app and the unique and industry-specific incubation process. The app will let the visitor browse the crowdfunding campaigns, educate themselves about the cannabis market, about proper due diligence and research sources. If he decides to dive deeper, he can connect and upload his documents for verification. Entrepreneurs can go on and pitch their ideas, raise the funds for their ventures, start it, and manage it almost directly from their phone. Investors, on the other hand, can research campaigns, can invest in them, and in return receive shareholder rewards for their participation in the ventures. Our business model, as mentioned before, is fairly simple. We take what we get is 2% equity and 2% funds of each company raised on CAMI. What we give is the adoption of proven business model, mainly crowdfunding and tokenization of equity, to the new cannabis market. We also give our cannabis market experience. We give access to our network and regulatory guidance, shareholder rewards in the form of dividend distribution and possible token appreciation on the secondary markets for all ventures raised and CAMI itself after its own ETO. The projected earnings you see on the right side are calculated with very conservative numbers and in a pessimistic scenario, but will still leave CAMI valued at roughly 46 million after 10 years. So onwards to our cost correlated roadmap. 250K will get us until the launch of the public alpha and the funding of the first handful of projects. Another 90K will allow the iteration of the user experience and the preparation of the Genesis launch with much more volume of crowdfunding campaigns and a bigger marketing campaign. So how are we going to achieve this? Our funding strategy is quite simple. The first seed round has to finance the first 3 milestones, after which CAMI will utilize its own infrastructure to source funding for the additional development after the 3rd milestone. We expect to be profitable by Q4 2020 after about 14 months of the seed investment. And so why put trust and money in CAMI? Because, as Owen said, we know how to pick the right teams because we have walked this road ourselves. And we aim to bring the cannabis economy back to its community, helping to create a truly and decentralized CAMI. Thank you very much. We'll now take questions and keep the team slide in the background.
You made it. So I just want to say before we start, I want to say that I'm really proud by all of the progress that you guys have made. And I see Owen is sweating. But
yeah,
you did.
Sorry about that there, lads. There was a bit of a wobble, you know. But you know, you have to wobble to walk, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm really proud by the progress, especially on the pitch
Dude,
side.
your feedback with pitches, from the very first day. This is what we do. So thank you. Very much appreciated.
So cannabis is always a controversial topic. Malta, maybe not so much, but rest of Europe, it is. So, any questions? Maybe. Online, we're still waiting, of course.
Yeah, it's a really interesting idea. When is cannabis going to be legal in European Union countries? That's the first question. Second is, traditionally a lot of criminal money goes into drugs trade, right? How are you going to prevent that from happening in this platform that you've
look, I mean, you're two things, I suppose. One,
there's recreational and medicinal cannabis. It's two different types.
And again, you know, it wouldn't be considered a drug industry; it's a pharmaceutical industry. And I suppose that is the big thing. It's investors are looking to invest in a new market that's coming up, and that's, I think, is the key. It was an illegal market, and the beauty of this is that overall that years when everybody knew that it was a legal market, there's nobody in the world hasn't heard of cannabis. There's no real cannabis advertising needs to be done. It's a matter of just changing legislation and making sure legislation is right. On the European issue, we have a number of countries in Europe have started recreational legislation, and many have medical legislation. I won't go through them, but there's about, I think, 6 in the last 2 years. I think there's about 11 or 12 in total.
So Germany is definitely on the forefront of medicinal legalization. We will have you have Switzerland, you have the Netherlands with a very open public, with a very open approach to it, and how we making sure that no illicit or drug money is coming in. I mean, of course, we cannot 100% make sure, but we will work together with certified KYC and AML service providers to check the investors that are onboarding for these specific parameters.
Any more questions here?
CAMI? Good answer.
I guess my question will be why an investor will invest in your project and not in a cannabis ETF, like a traded fund, and being diversified, but why selectioning your project and increasing the risk? We all know the industry is going somewhere, so they might profit, but why choosing your project and not just being diversified?
Yeah, I mean, look, one of the biggest things about investing, is especially with crowdfunding platforms. You go to a crowdfunding platform, you're a retail investor, not an accredited investor, and all of a sudden there's walls everywhere. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't buy equity shares that release dividends. We plan on changing that up. We want to give the industry back to the people who created it, which are the retail investors, the small people who are going to buy into these companies. Look, we're going to look after accredited investors as well, but I think that's a real big part to it for us anyway, you know.
I think you said it all. That's good.
Going once, 2 times, 3 times. Sold to the gentleman in the back. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, CAMI is pretty cool. It's undeniable that those guys are stoners. I mean, they say they know the industry inside out. Just kidding. I mean, it's undeniable that the cannabis industry is growing, and I think their approach of tokenizing the ownership, working with the companies to manage them and help them with legal issues and compliance and all that, bringing the retail investors where you don't have to be a accredited investor, and you can participate. And I think they have a good revenue model with the 2% and 2%. And yeah, I happen to have a jar of cannabis right here, homegrown, because I live in Massachusetts. Oh my gosh, I love living in a legal state. Homegrown, it's good stuff. So overall, muy bueno. Yeah, so they'll be working with the KYC, AML third-party providers. Yeah, this one's going places, guys. I think people will be really excited to get into this. So it's more than just a crowdsourcing platform like Kickstarter. It's a little bit more integrated than that. So, all right, on to the next one.
The next theme has nothing to do with controversial topics. It's something I think very, very common. Please welcome King Football and Mladen to the stage.
There you go. Okay. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, everyone. Let me just check the clicker. It works this time. Hello, everyone. My name is Mladen, and I'm from the King Football team. And I would like to start with a story. We have a friend. His name is George. He's a huge Manchester United fan. Also, his son is a huge Manchester United fan. His daughter as well. And he had a birthday. So we were like, what should we buy George? And of course, we have to buy him a limited edition shirt of Man United. We went online on the Man U store, not his size. What should we do? We went online to search in other places. And because he's a huge fan of premium stuff, we had to realize and pick a place where we could know for sure what is original and not to buy fake stuff. And when we dug into the problem, we realized we couldn't know how and what is fake and what's original. And when we dug deeper into this, not only us had that problem. And furthermore, 34% of people have bought more than once unwittingly stuff online that is fake. And after that, they decided to stop buying that brand. And about George, I want to tell you something that you probably don't know about him. Together with his friends that watch Premier League, they usually buy online 8 out of 10 times. And 3 out of 5 times, they tend to buy the premium stuff. And it hurts the club even more because what they try to do is they rely on selling merch so they can grow, and fakes stop them from doing so. So what do we do about it? Ask the fans, and the football brands also ask that question. We decided to do something about it. Today I would like to show you something. To show you that, I will need Ilko on stage. Please, everyone, put your hands together for Ilko, part of our team. We have an amazing solution that is in the pocket of every buyer and every fan. You might have to look at the screen over there as well. This is a shirt that I'll be telling you something more about later on. But in generally, when you tap on the shirt that is tapped with our technology, you get to know if that is the original deal. Why? Because each of the items that use our technology has a specific chip on it, and there is lots of magic and things going at the back end, which I'll tell you more about later. But you can know for sure that it's original. And there is more to this as well. We realize that fans want to connect, and they want to be part of a special circle of a football star or football club. So we decided to do something more for our alpha. And this was whenever a fan taps and scans the brand logo, you can see over there, this is Mr. Berbatov's message to his fans. When you claim an item, you become part of the inner circle of a brand, and then you can get exclusive messages that you don't find anywhere else. So you get to connect. And there is more to this as well. You know, when you buy stuff, I'll give an example with Luca. Luca, when you buy stuff, and you send your kids to college, now you get to sell some of these items at a lot better price and cover their tuition. Why? Because you get to prove that there is, for example, if you buy from what I'm going to show you now, that this is the first ever shirt with such a limited edition, and you get to keep its value and get money out of it. So each of the items has a blockchain verified ID, and when you transfer items amongst each other, we get to track that, which is very cool, and it brings more and more on the table. So that stars brands can sell verifiable premium items and engage with their fans, and the fans, of course, can get those items, engage, and keep the value of their items. And everyone can connect in a genuine way through our help. I have a special announcement to make about our team. We have an amazing team. We were thinking about it yesterday. We have more than 200 years of combined experience in the expertise that is relevant to what we are trying to do in social psychology, B2B, B2G, blockchain, AI. And I have some things to say about the go-to-market as well. We are targeting UK first, limited editions. And here is heads up to the aeternity team. We saw that there is one more angle that we can work out, which is esports angle to the football clubs as well, that can release limited editions. And our target is to have an awareness of 2.5% of our customer base, and for the next 2 years to have 100,000 pieces tagged with our technology. And I have a special announcement to make, and I'm in a hurry because I know how much time I've got left. Mr. Berbatov, a partner of ours and a customer of ours as well, with his limited edition shirts that he designed himself. Has just released and announced yesterday at 18 CET time, and the 14 series of his limited edition items live forever on Eternity blockchain. And probably, thank you. I'm gonna show him the video afterwards, so he'll be happy about it. And probably you're asking yourself, where can I buy one? And please scan, download, go on the app and buy one. Be one of the alphas. I've got quite a few things in store for the people that are buying one of the first shirts. I can give you a hint. Some of the guys already bought the incredible switcher of Berbatov. I'm not telling you when, but we're going to have a cup of coffee for all of the incredible owners with Berbatov himself. So stay tuned, and if you have any questions, come to me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Very good. I love exclusives. So while we wait for mandatory 30 seconds, questions? Okay, there's one.
Can I join the coffee as well? Of course. Milan is first.
So the possibilities here are endless, and football is just one.
Oh, okay, you will be compete with Manchester, so how do you sort out this problem?
I beg your pardon?
You will be competition to the club himself,
Why?
aren't you?
Why should it be?
Okay, how does it work? How does cooperation work?
Basically, one of the things is that clubs at the moment have a problem stretching out to further markets. And I cannot say everything that we have in store, but I can tell you that we are opening some markets that they are trying to reach. So we are quite thinking about a collaboration about limited editions that can not working? No? Okay. So basically, we're thinking about opening a new market and allowing them to use our technology and form a collaboration. We are not trying to create a menu too. No. We are partners. We can be partners with them.
Check. Refresh.
Thank you for the question. Can I say a couple of words?
Sure.
Heads up to the team of Eternity, quite frankly, through the program. We had very tough time, but I loved it at the end of the day. So thanks to Georgia, Luca, Valentin, who is probably watching right now, Milan, who has been helping us out in the last couple of days, Gökhan, everyone, Eli. You know, at the end of the day, we realized that going through that program was something that helped us out, especially with a couple of things that we improved that are helping us out right now in real time. Luca knows what I'm talking about in real sales. So thank you.
Okay. If you
Anyone?
don't have additional questions. Oh, Camille. Very good.
Thank you. Why limiting yourself only to football and UK? There's a lot of other sports, a lot of country. US is fan of everything you can collect, basketball, baseball. So are you planning to venture there, or is it only football forever?
You are picking it quite correctly. We already have some contacts in the States, and football, as you know, is a growing trend there as well, especially with the female team, and especially with guys like Beckham family opening a club and having their merch there. So I'm not hiding when I say that we are thinking about the US, and it's a very important market for us. Why football? I will tell you afterwards because it's going to take a lot of time, but let me tell you that we have handpicked this for many reasons. One of them is the love for football. Also, there is this amazing opportunity to bring a solution to a market that is missing such a solution at the moment. And to put it into perspective, less than 3% of the stuff that people buy actually go to the clubs and the brands as revenue. Everything else goes to fakes, so it's a huge problem. So, couple of answers, but I can tell you more afterwards, and I'm quite sure you like the question in private, the answer in private.
Okay, and how can you stop like other clubs in different sports creating something similar to your application?
why should we stop anyone creating something similar in our area? It's a very new area. So I will give an example, Martin. When I was living in the States, we had two stores, Giant and Giant Eagle, and Target. So basically, with a huge parking lot, we strongly believe that the market is so huge that any competitor that comes on the market will be doing us a favor, because it will help people get used to what we are trying to do as well. And quite frankly, I haven't seen statistics of any startup that so far failed from competition. They usually fail from other things.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome.
Very good question, though. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Football.
Thank you.
Goal, 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 goal. This is an interesting project. I think it's pretty obvious, the blockchain, because you can verify that something has, you can have the hash of something and prove that, yes, this is the item, as long as they have some unique type of something in the product itself. So you can verify it, it'll be worth more money, people will be willing to pay a little more for it, so it will add a little bit of cost to the items, but people will be willing to pay that because their value will be verifiable and worth more on the resale. Everybody's happy. Seems like they're doing some interesting things with like bonus rewards and a little more interaction with the football clubs, exclusives. So that's all pretty cool. And I thought that was a good question. Why football? And maybe it's not just football. I mean, there are some blockchains focused more broadly. So I think there is some competition from broad product authentication. But if you're going to start anywhere, I think football is a good place to start because the fans are so passionate and you can give them bonuses and perks. So maybe they will expand. I think this is a good project. It has potential. And the last one today is smart credit. Boom.
Last but not least, we have the only twins working in a startup.
The other one is on the video.
No, that's mine. Thank you very much, Martin. The floor is yours.
So, hello, I'm Martin. So, we are in the crypto lending business. And what's unique in a smart credit, that we are tokenizing the loans and we are making them transferable. So, let's start from the early beginning. Now, the credit is 5,000 years old. Societies have been built on the credit now. But in a parallel to credit, there exists as well something like a credit money. So both are 5,000 years old, credit and the credit money. So what is the difference? Now, what is the difference between credit and credit money? Credit, anyone, any natural person, any legal person can give credit to everyone, to any other persons. This is a basic right, that's a human right. Now, if you are making this credit transferable, if you are making these debt obligations transferable, that's when we are getting credit money. And both of them have existed 5,000 years. Now, how does it work today? Today, the lenders are the bank. They give credit and they originate the debt obligations, which is the credit money, which is this money that you have on your bank accounts, that you're using daily. This is money created via lending process by the commercial banks. And now here is the number. 90% of the money, of the total money today, is created via lending by commercial banks. 90%. Okay. And where is this money in a blockchain? Is it in a Bitcoin? Is it in a Litecoin? Is it in an eternity? Well, it's not there. This is the answer. It's missing. But this is something that has existed for 5,000 years. So, how do we create it? Exactly in the way as it was done in the past, via decentralized lending, where the lenders are receiving debt obligations and they can be used as a means of payments to the next parties. So, sounds very easy. Sounds very easy. So, but Where is then the problem? You see two boxes, one on the left side. There are a lot of crypto lenders there. They lend the assets, the borrowed assets. But the right side is missing. The credit money, the transferability, the right side, the yin and yang, the second part is missing. And that's what we are doing. So what is our solution? Is a transferable tokenized credit. The left box there is a crypto lending. We are doing this. We are marketplace. We have all the features even more than the others have. Plus, we are tokenizing the loan applications. We make them transferable. They can be used as means of payments to other parties. And the holders of these tokens will receive the interest. Now, what is our ecosystem? Simple, 4 pillars. Reinforcing each other. The first one, consumers. 2-click credit, 2-click consumer credit. Because everything is pre-calculated. The second, the lenders. They will receive liquidity. They lend out the funds, but the funds are tokenized. They are transferable. Then we have passive investors. Let's call them whales. They can use private fixed income funds. And last but not least, we have API. Non-custodial API for the integrations by other non-custodial platforms. So, let's walk through. What does it mean? The lenders, they will receive transferable debt. They will receive the liquidity. They lend out the funds, but they're still liquid, like the commercial banks. Every lender will become a commercial bank. The next one, the borrowers. Borrowers will get factor 2 higher capability to borrow than the other platforms. Plus, it's a 2-click credit. So it's a famous 2-click credit. The next one for the investors is a passive investment. It's putting his funds into this investment engine and just receiving income from them. Okay, and now we're getting the business model. You see one number. This is the business model. We take 0.5 fee. That's it from every transaction. So, right? How do we grow? Very easily. We are API, non-custodial credit as a service API for integration with other non-custodial platforms, with wallets, marketplaces, exchanges. Everyone wants to offer additional services to their users, and we are there. That's our non-custodial API. That's how we enter the market. The roadmap. We have MVP, we have pilot, we did this on Ethereum. We will roll out the Ethereum-based product. We continue as well adding features there. And in parallel, we want to move all this functionality as well to the eternity. Our team. Okay, I worked 10 years for Credit Suisse. My twin looks the same as well. We're banking experts, we're credit experts, we're product development experts. We have done 4 products in the past with 100,000 users. So we'll do next ones. Or ask 300K for the next 18 to 20 months. And here is a summary. Let's think Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the base money. Bitcoin is a money that is not controlled from the government. But Bitcoin is just the first layer. Now, on top of this first layer, we had to build this additional financial infrastructure. We had to add the credit money capability. And that's what we want to enable. So, thank you.
So, who has questions for Martin? Ooh, okay.
Martin, thanks for the presentation. You had a point in one of your slides that value protected or something like this. Can you explain how do you protect value and what does it mean to protect value when tokens are so volatile?
Okay, it's a value protection in the sense of for the lenders that their loans are value protected. Let's take on Maker. Let's think on Maker. Or let's look on a Compound. So like these DeFi products. Maker and Compound are taking like in average 350% collateral to protect the asset. 350%. Now we are doing the same. We are taking collateral, but factor 2.5 less collateral. Plus we have a concept of a reserve fund for the flash movements on the market. So, and this is plus we have a combination of a credit risk rating. We are calculating the credit risk ratings for every borrower. And by combination of three these parameters, okay, collateral, so reserve fund, credit risk ratings, we'll get to a much lesser collateral requirements than a famous maker and compound. Practically, the capability to borrow is twice higher. And via this mechanism, the loans are as well protected. Now, if you go now further in the future, so this is non-securitized lending, but then it can be as well, let's say, non-securitized lending. Let's think on the peer-to-peer fiat platforms. This is usually non-securitized lending. These are, of course, the next steps. So it starts with collateralized lending, with securitized lending, and then it's moving towards the non-securitized. But to do non-securitized, we need a legal contracts, enforceable legal contracts. So did I answer it?
One more question.
One more.
Mike, please, because it's streaming.
How it would be possible to short your collateralized debt obligations then?
Oh, okay. We don't want that they are getting shorted. We just want that they are mean of payment. They are mean
No,
of,
I mean if I want to short your CDOs, how do I do that in the future?
You want to sell it, or how do you mean short? Short is a
Bet that
Yeah, the bet that they will go down, the price will go down.
no. Okay, you see, there is a mathematics behind, or statistics, and the reserve fund is behind. So, we say they are covered. Plus, they are interest bearing, so they earn the interest. The borrower's interest is going to the holders of these debt obligations. Let's think on Maker. If you make a loan on Maker, you pay 15%, but this is not going to community. This is going to the VCs who own the Maker tokens. No, in all cases, you make a loan. This is going to token holders. So we have this interest component as well. So, but it's value protected, so you cannot short them.
Okay. Basically the same question I wanted to ask, how the collateral, if collateral is compromised, what happens to the
Oh, collateral, okay. We have, of course, this mechanism as well. If collateral value is sinking, then we are doing this liquidation procedure. But now it's a very big difference from Maker. Now, Maker and Compound, they have to prepare for the worst. They have no data and they have unlimited maturities. Now, but if you are going to the limited maturity, then you just have a little statistical formulas, so 3 sigmas, and so that you calculate how much collateral you need. On top of this, you have this protection against flash crashes with the reserve funds. They don't have this protection, so practically, our competitors have, with every single transaction, they have to calculate, to assume this is now the worst transaction of our life, meaning collateral requirements are very high. But all mechanisms allows them to reduce. That means it's beneficial for the borrower. Either it's beneficial for the lender, or it's beneficial for the borrower. Where is the demand? Is it by lenders or by borrowers? By borrowers. So, okay, next questions. My favorite. Please.
Yeah, Martin asking Martin a question. What about fiat loans?
Okay, now, yes, I know the fiat loans, because we are coming from the banking sector, we are keeping away from fiat loans for a simple reason. As soon as you enter the fiat world, you get tons of regulations. We stay in the crypto, just not to do anything with these regulations. But what we will offer is the fiat convertibility. We will add this feature that people can borrow and they can convert this on the fiat. They can make these IBAN transactions on the fiat. But lending underlyings, we don't want to go in these highly regulated areas. So.
Okay, and what happens if, for example, someone today is selling on $100 and tomorrow the price is 1,000?
Oh, okay, say again, is it collateral?
The borrower has just received the loan in some kind of cryptocurrency, and today he's selling that cryptocurrency on $100, but tomorrow the price rises to 1,000, and that would mean that he needs to repay the 10 times higher.
Oh, okay, this is now the question, is he moving out of a sector or is he staying in a sector? We have these two big segments. One is we stay only in a crypto, the other is we go to fiat and back. So these are these two different segments. Now, of course, it depends on the underlyings. So one of the underlyings, of course, eternity, but the other underlyings are stable coins. Now, if someone wants to stay in this second segment, he knows he's going to fiat. At the moment when he takes a loan, he knows he's going to fiat. He will take a loan in a stable coin, and he will avoid the volatility of the underlying, like in a dollar value. If he stays in the first segment, meaning in a crypto only, then he doesn't need to take a loan in this fiat stablecoin.
Yeah, well, with the Satified, we have the solution. Let's speak after that.
Oh?
I think that's it. There are no more online questions. Martins have spoken, and thank you very much. Thank you very much, Martin. You can go. So now the good stuff. The beer, snacks, milk, and everything else is out there. We will be back in 1 hour 30 minutes, 5:00 exactly. That now we're gonna go and lock ourselves in the room and do the number crunching. Good luck. Yes.
Well, to be honest, I like the idea. I can see how smart credit is tokenizing debt, the credit money, and you can transfer the obligations. So I'll admit this was probably the hardest one to understand, and you can kind of see that with the questions that were asked. But for me, I the whole DeFi maker DAI stable tokens, crypto backed stable tokens is a little bit confusing to me. But people need loans; they can take them in stable coins or other ways. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about that, except guys seem pretty knowledgeable. They're already working on Ethereum. So hooray, Starfleet Volume 3. The next round of Starfleet is going to be in India. Apply now if you have a crypto startup idea and want mentorship and all that. I was a little disappointed to see that none of these are really leveraging state channels, which is one of the best selling aspects of Eternity that Eternity can do and no other blockchain can really do as well. But we're still using Eternity's tech and tokens and signing and, well, not signing, but yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that. Like I said before, link to the full video of all the pitches down below. I will see you on the forum. Drugs by Mail is me, and